On Saturday, February 12, 2022, in the neighborhood of Nachalat Shimon, aka Sheikh Jarrah, someone threw a Molotov cocktail into the baby nursery of a Jewish family and set the home ablaze. Fortunately, the entire family was away for the Jewish Sabbath, and no one was hurt. Itamar Ben-Gvir, a member of the Israeli Knesset, sprung into action and set up his office on a Jewish-owned plot of land next door to where the alleged arson attack took place, in an effort to bring much-needed security forces to the neighborhood and to try and stop the continuous firebombings of Jewish-owned cars and homes. Just a few weeks prior to this episode, we visited with local Arab residents facing eviction and the Jewish owner trying to evict them. The Arab renters admitted to not paying rent to the Jewish owner, justifying their actions on the grounds that they refuse to recognize the Israeli courts. Visit tribejournal.org/Sheikh Jarrah to watch the full documentary. Today, we're trying to understand both sides of this conflict in real time by checking in with the people who live there in Nachalat Shimon, aka Sheikh Jarrah. It is astonishing that any responsible reporter could mention MK Itamar Ben-Gvir moving into the neighborhood without mentioning the preceding 9 car bombings in less than a year, and without mentioning the attempted murder by throwing a Molotov cocktail into the baby's room in a Jewish tenant's home the night before. For TRT World, a Turkish public broadcast international news channel, propaganda may be the norm, and thus the material and misleading omission is almost expected. Here's TRT.
Israel's Kahanist far-right lawmaker Itamar Ben-Gvir says setting up his parliamentary office in the occupied East Jerusalem is a show of support for Jewish settlers in the neighborhood. But Palestinians see it as a provocation and protested to stop him and his right-wing followers.
Okay, TRT is a Turkish government publicity agent. But how can an Israeli newspaper, Haaretz, look themselves in the mirror after publishing a headline such as this? Clashes, arrests in Jerusalem's Sheikh Jarrah after Kahanist lawmaker reopens office. The tagline reads, far-right lawmaker Itamar Ben-Gvir's reopening of his makeshift parliamentary office in East Jerusalem sparks clashes between Israelis and Palestinians. Again, no mention of 9 car bombings and attempted murder just the night before. Tal Yoshvayev, the Jewish tenant living in this Jerusalem neighborhood, shares his personal experience.
בשבת האחרונה פשוט ניסו לרצוח אותי ואת המשפחה שלי, להצית לי את הבית, הציתו לי את הבית. בנס לא היינו בבית באותו זמן, אחרת פשוט חס ושלום, אני לא מנסה לדמיין מה קורה אם היינו בבית באותו זמן. מקרה שבעצם חזר על עצמו, התרענו עליו, רק לפני חודש זרקו בקבוקי תבערה ובנס הם לא הגיעו לבית. שרפו לי את הרכב באותה נקודה 9 פעמים ב8 חודשים האחרונים, 7-8 חודשים האחרונים. משטרת ישראל וממשלת ישראל זה לא מעניין אותה, האדם שלי הוא פשוט הפקר. לא מעניין אותה הביטחון שלי ושהמשפחה שלי, מבחינתם כנראה בגלל שאני אולי לא בצד הנכון. רק יום רביעי האחרון דיברתי עם מפקד המרחב ואמרתי לו, בסוף ישרפו אותי חי בבית. בסוף ופשוט הוא אומר, כן, אנחנו עושים, אנחנו עושים, כל פעם מספרים סיפורים. אבל בסוף יכולים לראות בעצמכם. זה מרכז ירושלים, הביטוח לאומי, המטה הארצי, ופשוט מרגיש כאילו הממשלה והמשטרה פשוט אדם שלנו לא מעניין אותם.
In previous episodes, we connected with Arab members of the neighborhood community, some who are facing eviction. I was curious to hear their reaction to the arson attacks and attempted murder. Are they empathetic? Apathetic? Angry? I was also curious to hear their thoughts about Hamas, the ruling terror regime in Gaza, threatening to start another war, or perhaps at this point we should be calling it another battle, in an ongoing ethnic war against Israel. It was like just yesterday we were standing over here and we're talking about everything, and one of the comments you made was that if the Salams were evicted, then it might start a war or something. And you know, what are your thoughts now?
Now if you see Ben-Gvir was here, it's not good. Now if you see in television Gaza is already, she will attack Israel. If didn't stop in Sheikh Jarrah, it become a war. Because one person, Ben-Gvir, because one person make a war. That's not good.
there was a fire in one of the houses.
It was fire. It was electricity. Something happened in the electricity. I don't know what happened.
They have videos of people burning up one of the cars multiple times.
Who's these people? You can't know who's these people. They are Arab, Jewish. You can't know. You don't know. Because if you want to do something like that, you cover your face. You put cover. You put mask.
Do you have any ideas for solutions of how we can make peace?
Maybe you and me, we can make peace. But between the government, it's so difficult. It's so difficult.
Last time we spoke about having a cup of coffee together. When are we going to have that cup of coffee?
1 minute. My wife do it. My wife do it. Wallah, we're right. We drink coffee together and we say Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. That means thanks God.
Alhamdulillah. I say l'chaim, they say alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
שכוייח, תודה רבה.
שיוציאו את טל ובן גביר מפה, יהיה שקט בשכונה.
נשרף קצת, לא?
לא היה שום בעיה, הוא שרף. אני לא משקר. הוא עשה
כן?
את זה בשביל שיהיה בלגן פה.
And so, at least to the media, the mutually exclusive narratives continue. Meanwhile, arrests had already been made, and subsequent to these interviews, Arya Savir from Tazpit News Agency was quoted in the Jewish press on February 17, 2022, quote, during a search of one of the suspects' homes, 8 ready-to-use Molotov cocktails, a mask, and gloves were seized, and the investigation continues. We caught up with Jerusalem's deputy mayor, Arya King, to weigh in.
There's a house here that in the last year was attacked 5 times by a Muslim terrorist trying to light the house in fire while the people are sleeping. And besides that, there were another 9 attacks on the same family, lighting their cars in fire. And we decided after the last attack, that was 3 nights ago, that enough is enough. It was a miracle that this Shabbat they were not in their house.
They think that the resident there lit it himself, potentially, and is trying to cause a balagan in order to ignite this conflict and get, what you see here today.
Very nice, I would say, imagination. The family was not here. The Molotov bottles were thrown. We, friends and supporters of the family living here, we said enough is enough. Because really, we could now be mourning on a family that was murdered. And we are taking it serious like it happened. When I moved to Mount of Olives, what people call Ras El Amud, Madeleine Albright was the Secretary of State of the United States, and she had the headline in Yediot Achronot, one of the newspapers in Israel, that the Third World War is going to be open in Mount of Olives, because we moved to Mount of Olives. And now I can say after 5 years that Jews are living there, synagogues, mikveh, kindergartens, not Third World War, nothing even close to it. We will let them threat and we will continue working, building, redeeming the land of Jerusalem and bringing back Jews to the places they ran away from. Come to Shimon HaTzadik to visit these places. It's strengthening the people living here, and it's also important for any Jew that cares about the future of the Jewish people in Jerusalem, because by walking here, by visiting here, you are part of redeeming Jerusalem.
One last question. I got my earmuffs on, folks, and this guy's walking around with no socks on. What's with the socks? Is there a backstory here? Like, why do you have socks? It's freezing out.
I will tell you what. When I'm walking on the ground, on the earth of Eretz Israel, and I go into the mud, it's a holy mud that is stuck to my skin. When I get a thorn to my leg, it's a privilege. It's a holy thorn. You can just dream because you will never get it. You have shoes. You will never feel what is a holy thorn. This is my opinion about the land of Eretz Israel. Be close to it. Don't put socks and shoes. Be connected.
Just for the record, that was not scripted. Wow. Arya King, thank you for your time.
My pleasure.
We appreciate everything that you do.
Thank you.
Last month on Tribe Journal, we interviewed member of Jerusalem City Council Yonatan Yosef, who is legally evicting a family who he says has not paid rent in 7 years. His late grandfather, former Chief Rabbi Ovadia Yosef Zitzal, moved here as a child from Iraq before 1948. We asked him for his thoughts on the recent attacks and police presence in the area.
Somebody try to kill 4 Jewish with Molotov bottle. It's not simple things. We say here, in the center of Jerusalem, it's not happen again. Never again. Never again. Stop to burn Jewish. After the Holocaust, after all the wars, I think so that the Jewish people need some peace. If you want peace, ready to war. I hope so that soon we invite you to the Chanukah Habayit to come inside and to put Israeli flag on the Jewish house.
At the end of the day, violence in Jerusalem against Jews is nothing new. Clearly, the public is being made aware of some of the facts. But the mutually exclusive narratives put gas in the tanks of biased media outlets to continue to feed fuel into the conflict and ignite the flames of war. In an upcoming episode of Tribe Journal, we will begin to look more closely behind the scenes at the media ecosystem which influences public opinion and how that coverage may be instigating violence and war. For now, one thing is clear to all. One determined Jewish family is miraculously fortunate to be alive today. What's up, Tribe, and thanks for watching. If you'd like to watch the full episode, it will be available exclusively on tribejournal.org. Just follow this link here.